Tonight on SportsCorner, high school football has taken the area by storm, so we give you the latest updates.
Broncos stole victory from the jaws of defeat on Sunday over the New York Giants. We'll tell you how Denver got the home victory.
And the Blue Jays forced the Game 7 in the ALCS yesterday. We'll tell you how Toronto got the win and more as a brand new, shiny episode of SportsCorner starts right now. From a Franklin Hall studio on the campus of Kent State University, this is SportsCorner. Alongside Maddox Miller, I'm Evan Schofield. Maddox, like every week here in Kent, sports have been insane, especially with Kent soccer.
Absolutely. Season's winding down, and we're actually going to go over to the pitch where the Kent State soccer team headed to Kalamazoo yesterday for a conference matchup against Western Michigan. The Broncos were able to pull ahead in the first half with the first 3 scores within 7 minutes of each other. Coming out of the half, the Flashes were able to get on the board as senior defender Abby Brightshoe was able to find the net. Western Michigan responded with 1 more on the board, resulting in a 4-1 loss for the Flashes. Kent State will play their final home game of the season as they take on Toledo on Thursday. Kickoff is set for 7 p.m.
And the Flashes field hockey team fought through tough conditions in Mount Pleasant yesterday as they took on Central Michigan. Coming off a tough loss against OU being shown here, Kent State was able to bounce back and pull away with an overtime win. The Flashes' aggressive offense mixed with a lockdown defense forced a stalemate until the first minute of the overtime period when Maybritt Dewell scored the game-winning goal from a penalty corner play. With 2 regular season games left, the Flashes will come back home for their senior day matchup against James Madison.
And wrapping things up on the gridiron, the Flashes took on the Rockets in Toledo on Saturday. With a strong start within the first 10 seconds, Drew DeShields found Cade Wolford for a 75-yard touchdown pass, followed by a field goal midway through the first. The Flashes' momentum would fall off exponentially as Toledo would shut down Kent State by responding with 45 unanswered points and walking away with a win. The Flashes return to Dick Stadium as they go head-to-head with Bowling Green on Saturday at noon.
Well, thank you, Maddox. We're now joined by Michael D. Filippo. Welcome to the show, Michael.
Thank you for having me.
Of course, yeah. So we talked Kent football and how they, maybe didn't have the best game they could have had. Michael, I wanted to know your honest thoughts on the game you saw.
Honestly, I felt like Kent State really got off to a hot start by having a touchdown scored in the first 10 seconds of the game, and also a field goal, making it 10-0 Kent State. But then everything else, it was Toledo answered 45 unanswered points. Yeah,
you definitely can't have that as a college football team such as Kent State. You can't let up that when you've been on a decent streak recently. I mean, obviously you won last week, and now it just seems like there are things like the running game being stalled and the defense not being, with communication issues in the secondary for sure.
Yeah, no, not the performance you want. However, it was a contested game up into the first half. It was 17-10, and then things just kind of got away from them. However, we can only dwell on the past for so long. Sure. Kent State has to start looking towards the future, and there are games that seem very winnable for this Flashes football team. Michael, who do you see Kent State being able to potentially take down, and how many wins do you see them winding up on the end of the season?
Like I said last month, I got one of my wins correct. I do feel like they can win a road game. I could see them probably beating Akron or Ball State, maybe even Central Michigan.
Yeah, those are definitely all winnable games, I think. I think down the stretch, when you let Drew DeShields throw the football, good things happen. Now, in this game, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, not the best kind of performance, but definitely looking towards the future there.
Yeah, no, I mean, there's still plenty of season left for this Kent State team to kind of solidify their spot as no longer the complete bottom barrel of the college football landscape.
Sure.
You mentioned the road streak. They haven't won a road game in about 3 years. What do they have to do to kind of get that, to break that streak?
Play at least good, it doesn't need to be perfect, but if you could at least play really good offense, good defense, you could probably win, or sometimes you just get lucky or something,
Yeah, well, for sure. Well, thank you again for joining us. I appreciate it. Hope to have you back soon.
Thank you.
Yeah. That was fun, definitely. Football, Drew DeShields. Let's see what else goes on. All right. Sad news hit the world of sports. Former All-Pro running back Doug Martin has passed away at 36. Martin played 6 seasons at Tampa Bay. The Buccaneers released a statement saying, quote, "We are deeply saddened to learn of the sudden and unexpected passing of Doug Martin. From his record-setting rookie season in 2012 to his multiple Pro Bowl selections during his 6 seasons as a Buccaneer, Doug made a lasting impact on our franchise." Early Saturday morning, the Oakland Police Department was responding to reports of a break-in and later were notified of a medical emergency that was believed to be the suspect involved, later identified to be Martin. The OPD police has placed the officers involved on administrative leave and launched an investigation with internal affairs.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Good kisses. Good kisses. You heard how loud
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back. It was a thriller Friday night as the Hudson Explorers defeated the Nordonia Knights 42-35 in double overtime. The game started off as a defensive battle for most of the first 3 quarters as it was 7-7 late in the third before Nordonia took the lead. Hudson then exploded for 21 points in the fourth to force overtime with a touchdown pass from Hayden Lipinski with under a minute to go. In overtime, Christopher Horner would score 2 touchdowns to help lead Hudson to the win.
Well, now we're going to welcome in Lucas and Stone. So glad to have you guys here. You guys were actually out covering some of these high school games, so I just want to ask, there was a lot of action from Friday Night Lights. I want to ask, what did you guys see from the games that you covered?
That was the best game I've ever seen.
Agreed.
I mean,
Totally
to the very end of the game, it was, when you headed into the match, it was a 14 seed and a 16 seed in overall Division II, so highly anticipated matchup. Division II is the deepest division in all of Ohio. So this is a very important game to show us, and these 2 teams are just as good as each other going to the final bell today.
Like, it was just impressive. And I mean, it started off as a defensive battle. Both defenses were holding their own, and then they kind of made those adjustments. They figured things out, and then Stephen Fay called, like, he threw for touchdown passes. Hayden Lipinski, he didn't have the best start at all, but he made the plays that when it mattered most. And then Christopher Horner was Christopher Horner on the offensive side of the ball.
When I was talking to a few people on the sideline, before Hayden walked out on the drive, you're 50 seconds, you're a junior starting quarterback, rivalry game is on the line, it's do or die here, and he steps up, scrambles out of the pocket, improvises, and a receiver was telling me he ran extra on his route too, trusted him, 75-yard touchdown pass to send that game to overtime. That is a great high school quarterback.
Well, and even with Stephen Fay call, he had some plays where he really showed that athleticism. The one in the first quarter, crossbody throw, receiver comes down with a catch, very nice play.
Yeah, I mean, we talk individual teams, and obviously those are 2 really good games. What about the division? Like, what Ohio division stands out to you guys nearing the playoffs coming here soon?
Division II.
Division II, it's
Hoban, Walsh, Avon, Highland, Wadsworth, Massillon, Big Walnut, Cincinnati, LaSalle,
Anderson.
Hudson, Nordonia, Anderson. There's more teams. I mean, Kings, it just goes on and on. Division II is the deepest division in football, and with the bye week this year in round 1 for the top 4 teams, I'm very worried it's going to affect those teams just like it did in the college football playoff. And that's why a game like Hudson Nordonia is so important, because those are the kind of teams that are bound to upset one of these top dogs right now.
And then I think Region 6 stands out to me especially. You have this little logjam with the top 3. You got Wadsworth, Avon, and Highland. And 2 of those teams are going to face off in a regional semifinal, with the winner going on to take on who would ever be the 1 seed in a regional final. And I believe, in my personal opinion, that whoever wins that region will go on to the state title game.
That's a very tough take, because you got Hoban or Walsh, and I mean, maybe somebody who shakes it up on the opposite side, but you could be looking at Hoban and Walsh versus any of the 3 teams in Wadsworth, Avon, and Highland.
You even get down to Region 7, you got teams like Massillon, Washington. They beat St. Edwards. It's just endless amounts of potential in that division.
Who could shake it up, potentially? You say there's a team.
There's Hudson, Lake, Hoover. Lake and Hoover are 2 teams I didn't name. Like, any of these teams go pull out. Lake only lost by a touchdown last year to Hobart and almost really messed things up early on in the playoffs. Looking at a team in the state semifinals, something like that happens, you're looking at possibly a guarantee for Walsh or a huge sleeper pick, which then opens up the Highland, Wadsworth, Avon.
Well, there seems like a ton of action in Division 2, so to put you guys on the spot a little bit, who do you see coming out of this?
I'm gonna go with Highland.
There we go.
And I may be a sleeper pick, just
Okay.
given the mass amount of talent, but Highland, they've beat the good teams. Hudson, they destroyed them. It wasn't even close. It was 32-0.
Right now, I don't know. I mean, offensively, if I'm taking an offense, I'm taking Wadsworth. They seem to have the most potential. But my biggest worry is the run game, because that's what matters deep when it gets cold. Wadsworth doesn't have as well established as other teams. If I'm taking a team, it's Highland probably right now. They have the most well-rounded team. They have the most chemistry out of everybody. Hoban and Walsh got new players coming, new positions and stuff. But the Highland team is probably the most well-established.
Well, it's definitely going to be fun to really pay attention to that. I'm glad we're able to do it here. So thanks, guys. We appreciate it. All right, well, we're going to get into our college football segment, but first, a pretty cool story from the gridiron on Saturday. During the college football kickoff, the kicker for Hawaii and Japan native Kensei Matsuwawa made a game-winning field goal to take down Stanford 23-20. How did he get good at kicking field goals, you ask? By watching YouTube videos. He never spoke English or even kicked until he wanted to try to do it like Seahawks kicker Jason Myers, who even texted Matsuwawa after the game winner. He hopes to take his talents to the NFL someday.
Well, it was another action-packed Saturday of college football, so to help us navigate through it all, we welcome in Ryan Mead and Gage Wellman as SportsCorner goes campus to campus. We're going to start with an SEC battle between LSU and Vanderbilt. Who would have thought that this would be a ranked matchup heading into this year? Vandy, though, looking to pull off the upset. They would get a field goal here early in the first quarter, making it 3-0. Damian Ramos on the field goal, that was LSU on the field goal. Diego Pavia, though, would respond with a touchdown of his own. The 17th-ranked Commodores trying to take down the 10th-ranked Tigers. Garrett Nussmeier, though, a preseason Heisman favorite, is going to find Trey-Dez Green for the touchdown, making it 10-3 here in the second quarter. We're going to head late into the second quarter as it is 14-13, and Vanderbilt is going to steal some points here as Brock Taylor nails a 46-yarder, making it 17-13. Vandy would put another touchdown on the board to make it 24-13, 11-point game. Nussmeier is going to run around again, and this time it's going to be Xavier Thomas who's going to shed some tackles and race down the sidelines. A massive Tigers touchdown to make it 21-24 as they would get the 2-point conversion. We're going to go later into the third, though, very late into the third, as Pavia is just going to do it himself. He's going to rush for his third total touchdown on the day, making it 31-24, and that would be all she wrote as the Commodores take this one 31-24 at home. This will now put them in the top 10 as they are ranked 10th in the country. LSU, their second SEC loss on the year.
Well, we now head to Sanford Stadium, home of the Georgia Bulldogs. Number 5, Ole Miss. Number 9, Georgia. This is going to be a good one here. We're heading to the first quarter. Georgia adds 3. That's Trinidad Chambliss with an easy touchdown run, getting the corner pylon. Ole Miss up 7-3 early. Now, scoreless is till the second quarter, but it's a new quarter, so that means some more points. This is junior quarterback Gunnar Stockton, the Lawson Lucky. The tight end gets in for 6 as the Bulldogs now take the lead. Now, a few more touchdowns are exchanged. Now, Chambliss passed to Dazon Stribling, who puts on the Jets. This will be a 75-yard touchdown. What an impressive day for Ole Miss offense, who has been on a hot streak as of late. They're now up 28-20 now. Third quarter, Georgia's going to score a touchdown, miss an extra point. Ole Miss doesn't care. Chambliss, he trucks and gets his second rush touchdown of the day, meaning it's going to be 35-26 in the third. Look at that replay, just trucking defenders. Now, quarter 4, Georgia down 2. Stockton play action. That's Lucky for a third time today, finding targets left and right. It working out 40-35. Ole Miss punts. Georgia adds 3. They end up taking this one 43-35.
Now, gentlemen, SEC football is amazing. How about some Big 12 contests over in Tempe, Arizona? Jesus Gomez putting the Sun Devils up over the 7th-ranked Texas Tech Red Raiders. 6-0 ASU. It's going to be the backup Will Hammond fighting Coy Eakin on a beautiful pass into the left end zone. What a catch, what a throw from the QB wide receiver combo. There's Sam Levitt. Did you know this guy was 5-1 against AP top 25 opponents heading into this one? Jordan Tyson, probably a future first-round pick for the Devils. Then it's going to be Hammond banging off defenders. Nearly gets tackled behind the line of scrimmage, but it's a touchdown, and the Red Raiders are back in this one after being down 12. Then it's Hammond, and if you watched a lot of MAC football last year, you're going to remember this guy, Reggie Virgil, the former Miami Red Hawk. He's been dominant. I remember that Kent State game. He took care of business up in Lubbock. He's having a great year, potentially also a really high draft pick. But it's going to be Raleek Brown to give the Sun Devils an amazing win over a top 10 football team, as you're going to see in a little bit here. Celebrations from the players and from the fans storming the field down there in sunny Tempe.
And now we will go to the third Saturday in October game between Alabama and Tennessee here, as Tyson is going to take this snap and find a wide open Isaiah Horton on a zig route. Alabama is going to score here early in this one. But then Joey Aguilar is going to take his snap here. Can he find anybody? Yes, he will. He will find Brandon Staley in the back of the end zone. Touchdown Tennessee to tie the game here early in the second quarter. And now Ty Simpson from other center. He's going to pitch this one out, and that's green grass. Touchdown, Alabama. They will be up 16-7 early in this one before halftime. But now Joey Aguilar, can he find somebody? And uh-oh, this one's going to be intercepted. And can he go all the way? Zabin Brown, unbelievable. 20 all the way to the end zone, 100-yard pick six. Alabama's going to be up 23-7 at halftime. Can Tennessee find a way to come back in this one? And now Aguilar's going to hand this one off to Deshaun Bishop, and he's going to make a man miss. Oh, my goodness. And he's going to cut a back in the end zone, and Tennessee's going to get back on the board here. Are they going to be able to come back in this one? This is a big matchup here. Can they pull this off? But the answer is going to be no, as Alabama will score another touchdown here. The final is going to be 37-20, an amazing win for the Tide, getting back on track.
Well, it has just been one of the craziest college football seasons we've seen in a long time.
Yes.
And with that comes a new and very interesting AP Top 25. So I have to ask, what are you guys taking note of with this Top 25 that you're getting?
Well, I'd love to give it some shout out to Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, and Indiana. 4 years ago, back in 2021, these teams finished with two wins respectively, and now all in the top 10 heading into the long stretch, November, December. Those are all three teams I could see making the playoffs come January, Ryan.
Well, I had to look at, so you talked about the front half of the AP poll. I had to talk about the back half with Texas. They do not deserve to be ranked right now. They are playing horribly.
Fair argument for sure.
Yeah, I mean, how can you say that they're a top 25 team right now? They just barely beat Kentucky. Kentucky's the worst SEC team by far. But what do you think, Evan?
Yeah, well, I'll look at the one spots. I mean, we obviously haven't talked about it, but I will say I genuinely don't think Ohio State can take another loss this year. I really don't.
Another
loss?
A loss.
Oh, okay.
yeah,
I was like another.
Over my
You
words.
think they can't be beat?
Yes.
They aren't taking another loss. Any loss. When I say it again, Penn
all
State
good, man.
is one of the teams we thought in the beginning that, all right, maybe they'll give them some kind of competition. They've fallen off a cliff.
Nope.
You know, Ohio State easily has a road to that. I mean, Bama moves up to 4. I'm loving Ty Simpson right now, guys. How can you not love him? 4 touchdown passes in his last game. He's on fire.
No, absolutely. I think a team that's very quietly flying under the radar, and yet they're the third-ranked team in the country, is Texas A&M.
Oh, sure.
This is a program that was in disarray a few years ago. They lost to they lost to App State. Like, just complete collapse, and they were putting all this money into Jimbo Fisher as their head coach, and now here they are, third ranked in the country, top of the SEC right now. We're potentially looking at a Vanderbilt-Texas A&M SEC championship game, which even 2 years ago, you could not say would have been possible. But with team success comes individual success. And the Heisman race is heating up big time. So I have to ask you guys, who do you see as the Heisman favorites, or who do you like in the Heisman picture right now?
Well, I want to go with a little bit of a different one here. From UC Cincinnati, Brandon Sorsby has looked really good since his first. He had a little bit of an issue first week against Nebraska. We threw a late pick, but ever since then, he has looked out of his mind. He is carrying Cincinnati right now. But what do you think, Evan?
Yeah, well, I got to go for the quarterback over at Oregon, Dante Moore. You know, he's thrown for You seem surprised by that.
I'm definitely. Yeah, but go ahead, my man.
I'm loving the 1,600 yards, 19 touchdowns to 4 interception. I'm loving what he's doing over there. He's had a few games where he's stalled out a little bit, but I'm loving what I'm seeing over at Oregon. I'm loving, he's only 20 years old. I understand that. He's a young quarterback. He's bounced back, and I think he's been mocked in a lot of mock drafts for the 2026 NFL draft. I'm seeing him rise and rise as we stand here today.
No, absolutely.
Well, Moore definitely having a solid year, but I think this is one of the weaker Oregon teams we've seen probably of this decade. Let's talk about the guy who defeated him in Autzen Stadium. It's going to be Fernando Mendoza of the Indiana Hoosiers. Guy's having a great year, but I think the Heisman winner ends up being the winner of the presumable Big Ten championship game between Ohio State and Indiana. Julian Sand, he's getting better and better each week. I expect those stats to keep rising.
No, I really like saying I'd have him definitely in the top 2, but I think my number 1 right now is the aforementioned Fernando Mendoza. Over 1,700 yards, 21 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Yeah. And I believe one of them it was a pick 6 against Oregon. He still won that game. He got the Hoosiers the road win against a ranked Oregon team, this Indiana team, despite maybe some questions of whether they should be the 2nd ranked team in the country. Fernando Mendoza has looked very good. He's playing so well, he is getting mocked as the number 1 overall draft pick.
Exactly.
And he should be. This is a guy who won a couple big games over at Cal. Huge transfer for Indiana.
Yeah, I think to be able to come into a new program and just dominate the way he is really exceptional. But we are now moving ahead to week 9, so very quickly, what are the matchups that we should look forward to for this week 9?
Well, I would like to look at Texas A&M and LSU. This is another ranked matchup. I'm going to actually say that LSU is going to upset Texas A&M here. I mean, it's the SEC. Anything can happen. But what do you think, Evan?
Yeah, I'll take another ranked matchup with Ole Miss and Oklahoma. I'm excited to see what happens. 2 high-powered offenses facing off.
No, I mean, I'm going to stick to the SEC. I got Missouri versus Vanderbilt, 15 versus 10. 2 programs kind of on miracle runs right now, and it sucks that one of them have to lose because you kind of want both of them to win.
Well, all 3 of you took the best games of the week, so I'm going to jump out of the box. How about let's go over to the FCS, number 1 North Dakota State, number 2 South Dakota State. I don't know where to find that game, but I'm gonna find a way to watch it.
It has to be being broadcasted somewhere.
For sure.
NDSU has pumped out a ton of NFL talent over the years. Yeah. I'm actually genuinely looking forward to that one because it may be a phenomenal game.
And so early in the year, we're going to see some really competitive football. I mean, I would imagine both coaching staffs are treating that like a championship game.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Gage, for joining us here.
Well, it was a windy one in Cleveland yesterday as the 1-5 Miami Dolphins came to town. Find out how the Browns amassed their season-high point total with the win.
There was an old woman who lived in a shoe. She had so many children, she didn't know what to do. She gave them some broth without any bread and kissed them all soundly and put them to bed. Hunger is a story we can end. End it at feedingamerica.org.
To Maddie, congrats on paying off all those student loans.
Finally, right?
How'd you manage that anyway?
I started tracking my spending, changed a couple of habits.
Wow, I'm kind of living paycheck to paycheck right now. I don't even know how I'm doing it.
Well, have you tried saving a little?
I want to, but where's that money gonna come from? Bill collectors, they're the worst. Am I right?
When it comes to financial stability, don't get left behind.
Not home.
Get tools and tips for saving at feedthepig.org.
Well, it was another wild weekend of NFL football. So to help us navigate through this action, we welcome in Josh Zaramet as SportsCorner goes around the NFL. We're actually going to stay here close to home. The Cleveland Browns taking on the Miami Dolphins, a 1-5 versus 1-5 matchup. I'm sure everyone was tuned into this game. 3-3 in the second quarter, and it'd be Ohio State product Quinshon Judkins rushing his way into the end zone for the touchdown. The OSU rookie putting on a show early for the Cleveland faithful. 10-3. We're going to go later into the second quarter. D. Eskridge on the kickoff return. Oh, my goodness, and the ball is out. It was a rainy day, so I can understand maybe losing one here. It was Grant Delpit forcing it, Rayshon Jenkins on the recovery, and then Judkins out of the wildcat with a nice little spin move, pressing B on the controller there to hit that spin move. Tua in the third quarter will get picked off here by Tyson Campbell, the former Jaguar, traded for Greg Newsome, making it 24-6 here in the third quarter. And we'd head late into the fourth or early into the fourth as Judkins would go for the hat trick, his second Wildcat touchdown of the game, 31-26. Tua Tagovailoa was picked off 3 times as the Dolphins dropped to 1-6. Browns up to 2-5.
Dolphins in trouble in Cleveland. How about over in Cincy? We call it the Unk Bowl. It's Joe Flacco. He signed a few weeks ago with the Bengals. That's Aaron Rodgers balling in Pittsburgh as the quarterback won. Their combined age, 81. Now, let's see what happens here. Rodgers is going to roll out to the left, and then he's going to roll to the right as vintage Rodgers is going to throw a dime to Jonnu Smith for the touchdown. His second touchdown of the year for the former Dolphin and Falcons. Steelers up 7-0, but not for long. They'll add 3, but Jamar Chase absolutely gets the better of the matchup with cornerback Jalen Ramsey. Flacco dealing in the second, 10-7. Now, Rodgers here going to drop back to his favorite target this year, DK Metcalf, and that was just a horrible pass. And that's Jordan Battle on the interception. Cincy end up getting the ball back, but so does Pittsburgh. Rodgers is going to roll out again to Darnell Washington, and yes, ladies and gentlemen, he is 6'7". I wanted to mention that today. So, with that being said, Rodgers is going to roll out yet again here in the fourth quarter, looking for some life, and that's Pat Freiermuth, the Penn State product, finally getting some use in Arthur Smith's offense, his second touchdown of the game, but it ultimately will not matter because the Steelers defense will let up Joe Flacco down the field, and Evan McPherson will hit the game winner. Since he's going to win this one 33-31. Pittsburgh's got a Sunday Night Football matchup against Green Bay for potentially the Aaron Rodgers revenge game.
Now we got the Eagles at the Vikings at the beautiful US Bank Stadium. We head to the second where Carson Wentz is going to get absolutely destroyed as he throws it, and it's Jalix Hutt, awesome name by the way, picks it off and runs it back. This will be his first career NFL interception and it will put the Eagles up 14-3 as the Eagles are looking to bounce back after a disastrous past 2 weeks. Now we're going to later in the second, the ensuing possession. Wentz is going to roll out to his right. He's looking deep. Does he have someone? He has the defense. It is Andrew Mbuka for the pick, and Wentz seemingly forgets that he doesn't play for the Eagles anymore as he throws his second interception on the day. The Eagles are still up 14-3. Now to the third, where Jalen Hurts is going to look deep over the middle. It would be Devonta Smith for a 79-yard touchdown. That is his longest of his career, and it puts the Eagles on top 21-9. Now to later in the fourth, after the Vikings are going to claw their way back in this, Hurts is going to look over the middle for A.J. Brown through the seam. That's his second touchdown of the day, and that seals it 28-22 as the Eagles get a much-needed bounce-back win, and the Vikings drop to 3-3.
Well, we're going to wrap things up in Denver, Colorado. The Denver Broncos taking on the New York Giants. It's going to be Jackson Dart dropping back here in the first quarter, and he is just going to let this one rip. Giants take an early 7-0 lead here in the game. It's actually they're going to take a 13-0 lead heading into the third quarter. Giants, Tyrone Tracy on the run, making it a 20, actually make that 19-0 lead as they would miss the PAT. Bo Nix would wheel out here and find, oh my goodness, what a deflected catch for the Denver Broncos to get themselves their first points on the board. Nix trying to will his team back into this one, but is 26-8, so it's looking a little late for Denver. Nix, though, not going to give up here on the rushing touchdown, making it 16-26 in the fourth quarter. 3.5 minutes left. Nix another play action, and he finds his man. That would be Harvey on the touchdown, 26-23 now late in the fourth quarter, and Nix is going to not just get his team into field goal range, but is going to get into the end zone. A huge comeback by the Denver Broncos, 30-26, and Jackson Dart says, Bo Nix, you can rush for touchdowns, so can I. He's going to plunge his way into the end zone here, just reaching out right before that knee gets down. It was a touchdown, but it would not matter as Will Lutz is going to get the win, a walk-off win, 33-32. Denver takes this one as the Giants fall in a major collapse.
Well, Maddox, how about those Giants? I mean, blowing a lead in the fourth like that, in only Giants fashion, I would say. Well, Josh, you know, let's go back to a game we covered earlier, the Dolphins and the Browns in Cleveland. What is going on with the Dolphins, man? I mean, Mike McDaniel, I don't know, you think he should have been fired by now? What's happening?
So I went into this game kind of under the assumption that whichever coach lost would be fired between Stefanski and McDaniel.
Who's getting fired, Bull?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Pretty much.
But like I said, I don't like calling for another man's job. With that being said, McDaniel's got to go. I mean, he's overstayed his welcome. The locker room is lost. He doesn't look confident. Like, on the podium, let's look at one of his quotes yesterday.
Oh, God.
And I quote,
Because we're not. I mean, if you are negatively affecting the football team routinely, assess another player.
Wow. I mean, really.
Just what a way with words.
Yeah.
Wise words by Mike McDaniel. Here's a stat. I'll give you guys. He is 29-29 in 4 seasons. He's 3-15 against winning teams when he is the head coach.
Not great.
Come on.
That's not great.
No,
How do you bounce back from that?
I'm going to be honest. I don't think you can.
No.
I think every plug has to be pulled. Tua doesn't look like an NFL quarterback anymore. I think Mike McDaniel is not an NFL head coach anymore. There's just no motivation for this Dolphins team going forward. I literally have written down here, Dolphins, bad all around. The defense is bad. The offense is bad. There's a few bright spots in, like, young running back Devon Achane, but that's really about it.
Here's the thing with the Dolphins, right? They have so much money tied into Tua after they just gave him an extension. I think it was last year.
Yes.
So something's got to change, and they can't get rid of that quarterback. So the only thing left is McDaniel, and honestly, I'm surprised they allowed that guy back on the plane. I don't know how he's still not fired at this point.
Yeah, he should probably still be in Cleveland.
Yeah, I even think, like, you got to start thinking about trading some pass rushers, you know. It's like Jordan Phillips.
Bradley Chubb.
Get him out of here.
There's assets to grab future
Get some
assets.
picks.
But we're going to go from really bad to really good. The Indianapolis Colts, man. How about them? Daniel Jones, what do you see coming out of Indy right now?
I mean, Jones is 5th in passing yards. I'm not sure where this came from. I guess the Giants did see something when they picked him that high all those years ago and that no one else saw. But I guess it's working out for the Colts. And it's not just Daniel Jones. Jonathan Taylor's resurgence has been something to watch, too.
What a year he's having.
Offensive Player of the Year candidate. I would say front runner right now.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor's got 697 yards already. And 10 touchdowns in just 7 games, I believe.
That's ridiculous. Yeah, 7 games.
It kind of seems like they're relying on the run game a little bit more. They're a very run-heavy team. The Colts have always had that culture of, smash-mouth football, always running heavy, Daniel Jones, only 10 touchdowns with 3 interceptions right now. Nothing crazy, nothing
He's not turning the ball over, though.
No, he's not. And,
2 of those interceptions came in 1 game.
Yeah, he's really balling. 6-1. I mean, you can't ask for anything better with the Indianapolis Colts right now, I think.
They're first in the AFC. I mean, you can't. As a Colts fan, I don't think they even saw this coming.
No. Let's just look at what you said. They're first in the AFC. Not the South.
Yeah.
The entire AFC.
Insane.
It's not the Bills. It's not the Chiefs. It's certainly not the Ravens. The Indianapolis Colts being headed by Daniel Jones, who was cut.
It's not. They went into the season thinking it would be Anthony Richardson. It's Daniel Jones.
No, I think just they had a great draft. Tyler Warren is just phenomenal, and Indy has a history with tight ends like Dallas Clark.
Sure.
If he can be that guy for them, the sky's the limit.
Yeah.
And Daniel Jones, I think, has just learned so much and has learned he doesn't need to be the hero. Just manage the game.
Yeah, well, thank you, Josh, for joining us here. The MLB postseason is in full swing, and to break it all down, we head upstairs to Lexi and Zach in the dugout. What's up, guys?
Thanks, Evan. But before we get into it, we do have a live update. As you know, the Seattle Mariners and Toronto Blue Jays are playing in a game right now, and we come to you with an update. So the score is currently 1-0 Seattle, thanks to Julio Rodriguez, who scored thanks to a Josh Naylor single. But we're going right into the highlight. All right, it's the bottom of the first. No runners, and who else but Shohei Ohtani to start us off. And we're moving to the top of the 4th, and we see Ohtani on the mound. He recorded 10 strikeouts that night. That's 10. We're still in the bottom of the 4th, and the man of the hour sends that ball 469 feet to right center field. The boys in blue extend their lead 0-4. It's the bottom of the 7th, and Showtime homers again. Extending the lead to 0-5, Ohtani ended the night with 3 homers, drew 1 walk, and on the mound, he notched 10. Again, folks, 10 strikeouts. Moving to the top of the 9th, the Brew Crew scrapped a run courtesy of Caleb Durbin. Score is 1-5. Durbin looks to rally his team for a comeback. Can he do it? He cannot. He hits it deep to right field, but Teoscar Hernandez nabs it, and the Dodgers are going to the World Series for a consecutive time.
We go north of the border for Game 6 of the ALCS and pick up in the bottom of the 2nd. Runners on 1st and 2nd, and Addison Barger drives the 2-2 pitch into right, plating one and putting runners on the corners and making it 1-0 Blue Jays early. Now the next at bat, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa taps one to third. Suarez charges and misplays it, and everyone is safe. Now 2-0 Blue Jays and runners on first and second. Mariners limit the damage, and now bottom 3. Barger up again, and he drills this one to right center and deep, a 2-run home run, and that makes it 4-0. And here in the 5th, Gilbert deals, and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. gets all of this one and tacks on another run. Now 5-0 Toronto. Still a lot of time left in Game 6. Josh Naylor steps up in the top of the 6th and hammers this one to right center and way gone. He gets Seattle on the board, now 5-1. Now bottom 7, Blue Jays with 2 on, and it gets away from Cal Raleigh. Guerrero heads to third, and the throw from Raleigh goes away into left field, and Junior comes in to score standing. Now 6-2 Jays. The Blue Jays take Game 6, and both of them and the Mariners will play for their World Series hopes tonight.
As I mentioned, there we go. As I mentioned before, the Blue Jays and Mariners are currently playing, and it's live, but I say we do a quick little prediction of who we think is going to the World Series against the Dodgers. Who do you got, Zach?
I like the Blue Jays lineup a lot. I don't believe they have enough pitching. They got Bieber at the deadline. I still don't think they have enough. I like the Mariners pitching staff, and as we said before, they are winning 1-0, but I like the Mariners pitching staff. They have George Kirby on the mound. I think he's going to do better than he did in Game 3. Game 3 was a little rough, but I do believe he can do better against this star-studded lineup with Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I don't believe Bo Bichette is in, but they have Bo Bichette, they have George Springer, they have Addison Barger, who's played really well, and Ernie Clement as well. These lower guys on the totem pole who have stepped up for the Blue Jays. But I do, in my heart of hearts, I do hope that the Mariners take it.
It aches me to say, but I have the Blue Jays. I do. The Mariners have been playing sloppy. I mean, we just saw in your highlight that Cal Raleigh
Threw the ball away.
Threw the ball away. I mean, you just can't do that in a game like this. I mean, I'm also especially hesitant for Kirby. In Game 3 of the series, he allowed 8 runs.
Mm-hmm.
You can't have that.
It wasn't a great game.
You can't have that.
But you're hoping right now he can bounce back.
Right.
Step up in a big situation, Game 7, send your team to the World Series, and then you got to go take on the juggernauts of the Dodgers.
Yeah, and I do have to say, in Kirby's defense, he has a clutch factor to him in do-or-die situations. Think back to the Mariners.
In the ALDS,
He stretched, 6 innings, I believe, if my memory serves me right? So, yeah, I think the Mariners' success ultimately hinges on Kirby's performance. Would you agree with me there?
I definitely do agree with you there. Like, look back to the ALDS against the Tigers. He pitched great. He was a main reason why the Mariners won that 5-game series against Detroit, and right now they're going to have to step up, but it looks like it's 1-1 now.
Oh, hold on. We have to watch the replay. Who was that?
Dalton Varsho.
All right,
Singles to right.
Who scored?
George Springer.
George Springer. Hey, that's crazy. We predicted it.
Now 1-1.
Now 1-1. Oh my goodness, this is an awesome game. Anyways, this is a little bit more in whatever the opposite of retrospect is, where I'm gonna call it active spect. I was looking on the internet and I found this headline from Sports Illustrated out. What are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think if the Dodgers win the World Series once again, back-to-back years, they have the highest payroll. If they win the World Series once again, and they're spending all this money, there needs to be a conversation about all the other teams who, once again, all these owners are billionaires, or at the very least, they have a lot of money. And they could be using this to build teams, but they just want to stay, like the bottom feeder teams, we're talking Cleveland, the Chicago teams, all of that, they could be spending this money to build their teams, building on seasons with their young guys. Go out in free agency, go sign a couple guys that are out there.
Veterans,
go trade for a couple guys, give up some of your younger prospects and go get some guys. But they don't want to spend the money. They're penny pinching when they should be out there fleshing out this money like the Dodgers are. They have the highest payroll in baseball, and it works for them every year. Now we do see teams like the Mets who have a top 5 payroll, but they're not spending, they're not winning.
I agree with you there. Now I'm hesitant to say we need a cap and a floor, just because then that just breeds for But unfortunately, that is all the time. No, there's not enough time. Sorry.
If you have a floor, there should be a floor. But if you have a floor, there needs to be a salary cap. But if you have a salary cap, then the players are going to have to get paid less. And nobody wants that because they're the product on the field.
Right.
They should be getting paid
The
what they're
guys
worth.
should be getting paid. I agree. But we will see which team faces the Los Angeles Dodgers in the World Series tonight. Back to Maddox and Evan at the desk.
Thank you, Lexi and Zach. The Chicago Blackhawks defended their home base against the Anaheim Ducks yesterday. We give you the details on their homestand.
Hey there, welcome to
Kent
Core.
Kent Core.
Kent Core. To Kent Core.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed. If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Welcome back. The NHL season is in full swing, and to help us break down some early season action, we welcome in C.O. Parker as Sports Corner goes on ice. Starting out in Columbus, the Blue Jackets were taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Lightning on a 2-game losing streak up to this point, trying to get off the schneid. Jackets, though, trying to get their second win of the season. It would be Kent Johnson getting this one in the back of the net here early in the first period. Boone Jenner, the captain, and Adam Fantilli on the assist. Johnson's first goal of the season. Tampa Bay would respond relatively quickly, though, as Ryan McDonough scores. Pontus Holmberg and Eric Chernak on the assist. Tampa Bay power play now here with about 3 minutes in the first to go. It would be Anthony Cirelli scoring this one. Jake Getzel, Victor Hedman on the assist. 2-1 now Lightning. Jackets, though, would look to respond the second, and they would as Damon Severson gets the goal. Matthew Olivier, Charlie Coyle assisting on this one. Jackets now looking to pull this win out in super early. 2 minutes into the third period, it would be Kirill Marchenko scoring this one. Dmitry Voronkov and Zach Werenski on the assist. Jackets get this one, pushing the Lightning losing streak to 3, and Jackets get their second win of the season.
Now with the Ducks visiting the Blackhawks, it is scoreless in the first. Bedard around the back to Burakovsky, who attempts to shoot but whiffs the puck, and it is grabbed by Dostal. You can see here, it is around the back from Bedard. He whiffs that chance, a prime chance. He's pressured by Gudas. Now into the third, still scoreless. Nazar passes to Kaiser off the post. Nazar gets the rebound. That is his third goal of the season. You can see this makes it a 1-0 game with the first goal of the night. Going towards the Ducks. Now 2 minutes, 40 seconds left. Ducks on the power play. Terry through the legs to McTavish, and McTavish right to the top left. That's a score, and that is going to force overtime with only 40 seconds left. Now 2 minutes left in overtime. Behind Bedard around the crease, passes to Donato, and then Dostal is on the wrong side of the goal, and that is going to be game, making it the Blackhawks' third win of the season and the Ducks' first overtime loss, putting the Ducks into a losing record.
Well, those games were nothing short of entertaining, but sometimes there's a whole other aspect to these hockey games, especially when the Florida Panthers and Buffalo Sabres duked it out on Saturday. Unfortunately, we did not have footage, but veteran Brad Marchand and Sabres forward Remus Dahlin were quite active with each other throughout the game, to the point that Marchand was fined $5,000 for the ongoing fight with Dahlin. He took it an extra step after stealing Dahlin's helmet, keeping it all the way to the sin bin.
Well, we have a lot of ice hockey to discuss. NHL season with, postseasons coming up. Hockey's just getting started, and there's so much to look forward to. It is early in the season, but there are some big surprises. Who are some teams that are surprising you early, CO?
I mean, I think I want to start off by saying the Kraken are maybe good. Okay. At the moment, they're currently down 4-2 to the Flyers, but game's not finished.
Let's make that 5-2.
5-2 to the Flyers, but they have 4 of their last 5 games have gone to overtime, and they're currently 3-0-2. And they don't have any particular player that's exceptional, but they're just so consistent. They have 8 players on their lineup with at least 4 points. And that's more than, I'd say, any other team, as far as I know.
And I'm pretty sure they're doing this all with a new head coach.
Yes,
Correct me
with
if
a
I'm
new
wrong.
head coach. Just a bizarre start to the season for a team that still really needs to find its identity, even with like 5 years of existence.
A bizarre start, but a good one for the Kraken. Evan, who do you have as a surprise?
Yeah, give me the Vegas Golden Knights. When everyone saw that Mitch Marner got traded, you always wondered how he was going to fit into that team. Well, he's done a pretty good job. 4-0-2 of the Vegas Golden Knights. Jack Eichel still doing really strong. They are dealing with Alex Pietrangelo getting hurt, and it's definitely impacted their season. But I don't know, they're off to a strong start, and they're doing a decent job. And 5 goals on the year for him. So you really hope you can get a piece back that has been hurt for a little bit. But definitely this trade is working out in Vegas' favor.
Yeah, Vegas kind of a perennial powerhouse at this point. Since coming into the NHL just a few years ago, it feels like. I'm going to head to the Motor City, though, where I have the Detroit Red Wings. They are just on a heater right now. 5-game win streak, and the man at the head of it all is Dylan Larkin. 3rd in points in the NHL with 5 goals and 6 assists. So he's dishing the puck and he's putting it in the back of the net. Larkin looking like a true all-star right now. Detroit, a team that missed on the postseason last year, trying a hockey city, you would say, trying to kind of recapture those old glory days. But you have one more for us real quick.
I think, Detroit's missed the playoffs for like almost a decade, if not more. I believe 12 years at this point. But a team that has missed the playoffs 100% of their existence. That would be the Utah Mammoth, who into their 2nd season are now 4-2-0. Their season started off a little rough, 1-2-0, but since the announcement of their mascot Tusky, they're now 4-2-0 at home and are 4-2-0, have won their last 3 at home and have another one coming up against the Avalanche tomorrow. And that's coming along the backs of Clayton Keller, who's doing significantly well at 7 points, and Nick Schmaltz, a guy whose name sounds made up, scoring 9 points alongside Brandon Tanev with 33 hits as a defenseman already. That's impressive.
That is impressive. Well, thank you for joining us, and we're going to head to our end segments of the week where things get interesting. Don't go anywhere.
What's up, NFL fans? Quarterback Josh Dobbs here. You may know me as the Pastronaut.
This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down. I'm too fly. This is my time.
I've always loved space and football. Growing up, some people told me I had to choose. But here's the deal. You can be great at more than one thing, and getting involved in STEM opens up your world to a universe of opportunities in life. Space isn't just for the astronauts.
It's for all of us. It's not just for engineers like myself.
It's for teachers,
students,
designers,
mechanics,
scientists,
and millions of football fans across the world.
3, 2, 1, watch out, here I come. This is my time. I'm on the rise. Can't hold me down. I'm too fly. This is my time.
Get inspired and get involved today. There are STEM programs and science centers available in your community, so be sure to check out spaceforall.us to learn more and get started.
This is my time.
How can you hate Star Wars?
Kung Fu Panda.
Star Wars.
Star Wars.
Here for a late night walk.
Yes.
Night walks around
Oh
campus.
my gosh. I always, like the swing.
Student center.
What?
Wait, care, you mean like healthcare?
Cares Center.
Student center.
Where you can get support.
Hi, I'm Leland Melvin, and I traveled to space twice as a NASA astronaut. Space technologies help protect our precious Earth. Space helps us monitor changes in carbon emissions, track the pace of climate change, yet even helps us fight natural disasters Make sure that you get out to your local science museum or go to spaceforall.us to explore and learn about space and science. Space is for all.
Welcome back. We're going to head to our award-winning segments, as we've said here on Sports Corner before, and hopefully these segments end up being really good. You know, we have
I'm looking forward to Evan End Zone. So how about you take us to the end zone?
Let's do that. So let's get to Evan's End Zone, guys. It's almost already Week 8. It certainly can't, and neither can my fantasy team. The overperformers of the week certainly surprised me, to be honest, starting with Jamar Chase. After all the hype the Steelers defense has got this season, I mean, you would have thought they could keep Chase a little quiet, you know, with a struggling offense, Joe Flacco. The opposite was correct. Chase lit up the Steelers starting defense no matter who was covering him. He achieved 38 points, the league-high single-game 14 receptions on 23 targets and 1 touchdown. With Joe Flacco at quarterback, it seems like his production should potentially get back to how it was with Joe Burrow. Potentially. Another overperformer of the week was Devontae Adams of the Los Angeles Rams, who needed to step up with the absence of Puka Nacua. Adams gave fantasy owners 27 points with only 5 receptions for 35 yards. The good part is he had a hat trick, 3 receiving touchdowns in 1 game. Matt Stafford was in his bag against the Jaguars, spreading the ball around very evenly. After the bye, he should get his whole core offense back. My underperformer of the week was not A.J. Brown. Oh, appreciate you, man. That was so nice of you. It was actually another Eagle, and he goes by the name of Saquon Barkley, a.k.a. the Offensive Player of the Year in 2024. He produced a whopping 5.2 points in PPG leagues, notching 44 yards. Safe to say the Vikings can only stop the run in that game. I wouldn't expect his production to dry out, but he most definitely hasn't had the same season as last year to this point. One player I expect to have a great week next is Emeka Egbuka. He's going to go against a Saints defense. I think Tampa Bay should take care of that business next week, as Baker Mayfield will have a healthy Mike Evans and Emeka Egbuka yet again. Egbuka's off to a stellar rookie season, and I truly believe he can and will win Offensive Player of the Year. There's no question he has made an impact in Tampa, and I'm sure Baker is super happy with that.
Well, Emeka Egbuka, you're looking forward to, currently doing nothing as the Lions are up 14-3 on the Buccaneers at the half. But it's time to have a meltdown, and there's easy pickings. There's the New York Giants, who completely collapsed up against the Denver Broncos. We could go to the college ranks, where Texas Tech lost to an unranked Arizona State team. However, I'm going to stick in the college, but not in the Power 4 conferences. We're going to head to the American Conference, where the University of Memphis completely melted down this week. And it's a little specific, so just stick with me here. Memphis was their first week being ranked in the top 25. They have a road matchup against UAB. UAB just fired their head coach, Trent Dilfer. This is their new head coach's coaching debut. And what does Memphis do? They lose 31-24. Now you may say, that's not that awful. It was a close loss against a mediocre UAB team. However, it's how it happened that really grinds my gears. I was watching this game. They were on the 1-yard line with a chance to tie it twice. And what did they do? False start on the first time, and then a pass out to get back to the 1-yard line, and then another false start to kick them back another 5 yards. So instead of just doing the Eagles approach and pushing the ball into the end zone, they wound up facing multiple penalties, which would put them out of easy touchdown range to try and tie it up. And it looked great. They ripped off a big 50-yard run to get down to the 1-yard line. The commentators were saying, oh, this is great for Memphis because now they can just kill clock, score the touchdown, and take it to overtime. Instead, they did absolutely nothing. Memphis, a potential playoff team. They were undefeated at this point. They could have been the Group of 5 playoff bid. The American is looking like a very strong conference right now with USF. I would say Memphis, but with this loss, I don't know so much. And many other American League teams. Tulane is another one that could be competing for a playoff spot. And you have to win these games. So Memphis, you need 1 yard, not even, about half a yard, actually. And instead of just doing the easy thing of running it up the middle, you have 2 different offensive linemen commit false starts, and now you are unranked, your playoff hopes are in jeopardy, and UAB might be giving a nice extension to their interim coach, depending on how the rest of the season goes for them. So hopefully he gets that bag by beating a ranked Memphis team at home. Despite wearing the ugliest jerseys I've ever seen in my life, they still got the win over Memphis. Memphis, you are my Miller's Meltdown this week. Well, we're going to head over to the couch now and the wall to talk about the World Series.
Yeah.
It's coming up. Mariners,
close.
Blue Jays currently tied 1-1 right now. So we kind of just we don't know who the Dodgers are going to face. But we're going to, I guess, get some double predictions between who we think is going to win this game and who's going to win the World Series. You start us off.
Well, the obvious pick, the LA Dodgers. Come on. Shohei Ohtani has probably the best game from a baseball player. 10 strikeouts, 3 home runs. You can't ask for anything else from your leading hitter. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman. I mean, you got hitters all over. I think it's easy.
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I think the Mariners are going to take this ALCS game.
Sure.
And I'm going to stick with Seattle. So I think Seattle's going to win the World Series. And instead of going to the couch, I think
Going upstairs.
taking upstairs.
We are taking it upstairs.
So let's head upstairs for Zach and Lexi to give us their World Series predictions.
Yeah, so me and Zach were talking. We both have the Dodgers. We just don't see it going any other way, honestly.
Unless if the Mariners win tonight with their pitching, but we were talking about it. No, there's no way anybody beats the Dodgers.
No, not at all.
Couch Island, what do you guys think about this upcoming World Series?
I think it's the obvious pick. Speaking of the Dodgers, the lockout 2027 is bound to happen after this World Series.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with the Dodgers, too. I just don't think that anybody can really compete with them. And I think it's going to be Dodgers versus Mariners. I think that's the pretty safe pick. But what do you think?
It's not totally interesting, but I'm going to go Toronto versus Dodgers, and then I'm going to go Dodgers win, and I'm a pessimist. We're going to see a lockout.
For me, I definitely got the Mariners and Dodgers. I mean, I kind of want Seattle to win their first World Series, but I think it's going to be the Dodgers.
I got Shohei Ohtani. It's a one-man team over there. I'm just kidding. I got Dodgers winning.
And over on the wall now, Gage and Stone, what do you guys think about this World Series?
You'll hear Dodgers in 4.
Wow.
Yeah, you know what? Yoshinobu Yamamoto pitched quite possibly one of the greatest postseason games I've ever pitched. And I think he's going to just dominate again. Blake Snell. Ohtani played the greatest baseball game ever played in the history. The entire history. Going back to like 1880-something, even the 1870s, all the way to 2025.
Not even Three-Finger Brown could do that.
Yeah, not even Three-Finger Brown.
It seems like, am I the only one not taking the Dodgers?
Yeah, that is true, man.
All right, well, I will stand on this island alone.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it shakes out. But that'll do it for this edition of Sports Corner. Thank you so much for watching.
For updates from us 24/7, head over to kentstater.com and be sure to tune into Overtime right here every Friday at 7 p.m. I'm Maddox Miller.
And I'm Evan Schofield, saying from the opening play to the final call, the Kent Stater Sports Network covers it all. Good night.
You feel good about that? No. I'm looking at it right.
In yellow today, feel free to use orange, feel free to use green, feel free whatever you want to do. These are what I have in my refrigerator.
Students, especially those that are in CCI fondly enough, are going to be visiting there quite often. But does their reward program
Brush, brushy, brush, brushy, brush, brush your teeth. Every day and every night. Now it's your parents' turn. Here's what you gotta do. Let them have your toothbrush so that they can brushy brush your teeth. Good job, you're almost done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That's it. Help your teeth stay healthy. Brushy brush with a grown-up every day.
When you reach for your prescription medications, you trust that the medicine is going to do what it's supposed to do, make you feel better. That trust comes from knowing that teams of doctors, biologists, chemists, pharmacists, and other health scientists at the FDA are working tirelessly to protect the health of the American public by making careful, informed decisions about which new drugs to approve. Find the answers at fda.gov/drugs.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. How could you not love him?
76% of employees have struggled with at least one issue that affected their mental health. When you share, you're not alone.